Hello there, my name is Anthony Barocas, and today I want to introduce you to the Magewell Director Mini. This is going to be a get started video for the Director Mini, unboxing it and helping you get started using your Director Mini. Here I've got the box, and let me open this right up. I'm just going to let the bottom come out of it. And inside the box, you've got your quick start guide right here. Gives you a quick walk around everything that's in the box, the ports on here, the back of it, and then your basic quick start. Also, do note, there's a quick link to the Android or iOS app that you can use to both be a remote camera or control the Director Mini directly. The Director Mini itself is just this small tablet. It belies the power that exists within this tablet. On the top, you've got a plate with the label. Over here, you've got the power button, a USB 3 jack, headphones, and your mic or line input. Continuing around, you've got a power port, USBC out, your SD card, quarter 20 thread, an Ethernet port. On the opposite side, you've got your HDMI 1, a second USB 3 port, and your HDMI 2. Leading to the back of the unit where you have two NPF battery ports. So if you have any NPF batteries, and I'm sure if you've been in the video business a long time, you have plenty of NPF batteries, because this has been a standard that's been used on lights and monitors and all sorts of peripherals for many, many years. You just slide them in here like this. It will use one battery at a time, and then you can cycle the batteries indefinitely, so you have endless power in the field. Continuing with what's in the box, let's pull this out. You have a whole host of accessories in here. Of course, you've got a power adapter that will come with several adapters for plugs around the world. I will put in the US one. It locks into place. If you want to switch, you just push the button and it comes right out. If you are not using the batteries, it comes with these two plates that fit right into the battery slots. So if you are not using a battery, you can put these in, and they provide a convenient way to use the Director Mini on a table one way or the other way. Because it is usable in both directions, this makes it easy to use it however you choose to use it. Next up is a small metal hood for the Director Mini. It has two openings for the battery status lights to shine through, and then also two places where there are thumb screws included to mount it to the front of the Director Mini. In addition to the batteries, there are also stands available, so you can just mount this right on your table, and there are also front covers that you can put over top of the screen so that when you pack it away, you don't have to worry about the screen getting damaged. I'm going to apply external power to this right here. And we're going to fire this up, holding the power for a couple seconds, and it will boot up automatically. Later, when we get past the login credentials, the gyroscope inside will automatically rotate the screen to the angle I prefer to use it, or the angle that you prefer to use it. But for setup, it's going to set up in a fixed manner. Hello. I'm going to choose English. That's I can change the name of it. Go to next. Here's the end user agreement. Say agree. Load show. Let's do a landscape show. So this is the default. It's going to give you a little tutorial very quick. First of all, this is where your cameras and your webcams will appear. Let's go to next. These are where your controls are going to appear for your graphics, writing over top, and also other things that you assign later, like pan, tilt, zoom. Next. Over here is where you record or stream or take a picture. Next, this is how you get to the main menu. Start using. The one thing it didn't show you is if you pull down from the top, there's a menu that covers over many of the features of like your connections, your destinations, your bonding, and the status of your different connections. So we'll get to that in a minute. I talked about the automatic rotate. So if you rotate it like this, it'll automatically flip around. And that is a nice feature so that it's got a 1/4-20 thread. If you want to mount it from below, it'll automatically rotate. If you want to hang it from above, it'll automatically rotate. And that makes it very easy for you to set it up how you want to use it. There are 3 ways to connect the Director Mini to the internet. First is the Wi-Fi that I've already connected. Secondly, you can use Ethernet to go directly into the Ethernet port like that. And then lastly, you can use a USB dongle to be either like a USB modem or a second LAN connection. The Director Mini also supports bonding of multiple internet connections into one resilient connection to the internet. One of the first things you should do after connecting your Director Mini to the internet is to check for an update. First thing you're going to do is down here, you're going to click on System, and then right here on Firmware, and then let it go through the internet and check for an update itself. If there is one, you'll see right here, it'll say auto update based on the fact that it sees an update. And as you can see, there is an update available for this one. I'm not going to update because I'm in the middle of making this tutorial. That's how easy the process is to download updates for bug fixes, new features, and more. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to connect an output to the USB-C. I have a USB-C to HDMI dongle, and I'm going to put that in here. And immediately, the Director Mini is going to recognize that I've connected a device, and it's going to ask me what I want to do with it. Now, I'm actually using the output of the Director Mini to send me a duplicate of what's on the screen. This way, I can show you throughout this tutorial what's on the screen of the Director Mini. I can choose between Clean Program, Clean Preview, so you have Preview Program, a Multi-View, so you can see Preview Program and 8 sources. You could also do a loop of HDMI 1 or a loop of HDMI 2 if you need those specific sources on output. Next up is connecting cameras. And while the Director Mini is an HD device, it will accept 4K signals and downscale automatically to 1080. So you can use cameras that are recording in 4K, but which can't downscale their HDMI outputs. So let's connect some HDMI cameras. First up, I've got one, let's see, HDMI 1, we're going to plug that in. That's my main camera. And then you can see it pop up right here. So when I wave my hand, there it is. And next up, I have the output of my side switcher. We're going to put that over here. And you can see that's my side view right here. So there you go. 2 cameras connected and available already. I can tap on that. There's my camera. I can tap on that. There's my camera. It's got a nice soft dissolve between it. And you can change all of that. But let us continue with the connections. Next up is USB devices. You can connect to USB converters or even USB cameras. I've got both of those to show you today. First up right here, I have a Magewell SDI converter, so you can use both SDI and HDMI in a show. We will plug let's plug this one on this side. There we go. And then looking at the input right here, we're going to plug this camera in, and there you go. Now I've got a USB camera way over there. I can tap on that. And there you go. You can see that camera is set up over there. Hello. And coming in through the SDI converter, and this one, when the signal is lost, it basically goes to a slide that says no signal. There you go. And you can plug in any UVC camera. Any webcam can give you a nice wide angle that you can incorporate into your show. But if you happen to have the OBSBot Tiny 2, which is a PTZ webcam, it'll actually control the PTZ. I'm going to plug that in right here. And in the wide shot, you can see the Tiny is this camera right here. It's now powering up. We're going to add webcam 2. There's my Tiny 2. We're going to add that. We're going to say save. And there it is. So this is my Tiny 2 right here. And over there is my further PTZ camera. This is HDMI 2, and this is HDMI 1. So right now I've got 4 cameras connected to my Director Mini. There's a lot of capability in the Director Mini, and now that we've started to connect everything, it's really starting to show how powerful it is. You've got 4 wired camera inputs, you've got your Ethernet input, you've got your wired video output, and our wired power. Before we forget, we're going to add an SD card for additional media, video playback, stills, backgrounds, and more. The SD card goes right up here, put it in, and now my SD card is available with additional media. Remember we talked about PTZ control? Let's look at that. This right here is the view from above the Director Mini, and you can see I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 cameras, and I could quickly tap between them and switch camera angles. But if you look right here, as I go down, I have the same 3 icons, but when I get to this 4th icon, I get a PTZ control. If I touch on that, that's the little webcam that I have right here. And if I wanted to correct that shot, I could just tap on the direction arrow to correct that shot. I can zoom in, and I can store that as a position. That is a very cool feature on a very tiny little camera, making the Director Mini even more powerful. PTZ control is obviously not limited to a UVC camera. It's available for NDI, which is fully integrated into the Director Mini. All right, over here you've got the Director Mini screen. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to load a still image, which will make this easier. So you can come over here to picture or video clip. I'm going to select a picture, and I can take, let's see, textured paper, old paper. Let's do old paper. There you go, save. And if I select that, now I've got a background, but it makes it easier just to see what I'm doing here on this interface. I'm going to add another camera, and I'm going to add NDI. You see NDI at the very bottom over there? We're going to add an NDI camera. There's nothing preset in here, so I'm going to do click on the top there where it says NDI search. I'm going to click on NDI search. It's going to look on the local area network, and it sees my Bird Dog camera available as full NDI and NDI HX, as well as my computer. I'm going to click on the HX, and there is the camera that is over there, which is also connected via SDI, but now also connected via NDI. We're going to say save. And when I select that, you also see it gets the same pan, tilt, zoom controls. Hopefully focus controls, because it's focused on the camera and not on me. So we're going to click on that, and you can see that I can turn autofocus on. There we go. That looks a little better. And then I can also pan and tilt these, I can say store as 1, and then I can zoom in. I can say store as 2, and then I can tap on number 1, and it will go to preset 1. So you can pan, tilt, zoom, focus, and store all of your presets right here using NDI. NDI over local network provides camera control, PTZ capability, tally, and with NDI bridge, you could connect to a camera or other NDI source anywhere in the world. SRT is another way to have a point-to-point connection for video ingest and for distribution. SRT stands for Secure Reliable Transport, and it can provide clean video in less than optimal connectivity situations. An RTMP pull and also direct RTMP receive is also available. So if you need 3 RTMP sources or 3 SRT or any combination of 3 IP sources, that will work in the Director Mini. In addition to 3 IP sources, the Director Mini can also bring in 3 mobile phone cameras using the Director Mini app. It's a convenient way to add an extra small handheld camera right on the spot. The audio capabilities are particularly strong with professional, accurate stereo metering for each input. This will be an overview of the Director Mini's audio. We will have another video that dives deeper into the advanced capabilities of the Magewell Director Mini's audio mixing. There are 4 different ways to bring in audio. First, audio comes in with each video source: HDMI, USB, NDI, SRT, phones, they all bring audio into the Director Mini. USB microphones are also supported. Second, there's a 3.5mm unbalanced stereo analog audio input on the side of the Director Mini. It's capable of either mic or line level audio. So if you have an audio mixer and operator, they can hand you a mixed audio feed. There's also an internal audio delay to match all your different audio sources to make sure that they are synchronized in the Director Mini. Bluetooth audio, like with Bluetooth earbuds, can also be used as a source. Audio monitoring can also happen via Bluetooth headsets or via the 3.5mm stereo analog audio output. When using this for a live show, in addition to the stream, the Director Mini has the ability to remove certain audio channels from the headphone output. So if you're using the Director Mini for video playback to the stage, you can hear the videos, but the people on stage won't hear themselves looped back. Again, there's an advanced audio capabilities video that will show what advanced users can do with the Director Mini. As I mentioned before, USB-C is your primary video monitor output using the USB-C DisplayPort output on the Director Mini. You can set it to be full screen video out of your program for iMag or external recording, or you can show the entire interface like I'm doing. It can also provide a multi-view of sources or a preview out for those who prefer the preview program setup. This USB output can also work with a touchscreen monitor, enabling you to work with the Director Mini on something like a 14-inch touchscreen display. The USB can also be used for data, like a keyboard and a mouse control, or connecting a USB flash drive for file transfer. There's also a UVC or UAC mode where the Director Mini can connect to a computer and will present itself like a webcam. So you can produce your whole program into a business meeting app like Teams, Zoom, WebEx, etc. So let's create a new show. First, we're going to go up to the menu and you see where at the top it says create a show. First, it's going to ask us what the show name we want it to be. We can come in here and quickly change the name to My Awesome Show. Save. And then we determine the frame rate and whether we want horizontal or vertical. So for this web show, I'm actually going to go down to 30 frames a second, and then we can create. Then once we have our show, you can see there's nothing in it. What happened to the show that we were in? If you go back to our show list, you can see the default show up here still has every input I had laid into it, the background and everything. Those are all still there. So when you create new shows, your old shows continue to exist. In addition, if you go to the show list, you can go into the default show, and if you swipe to the left, you can export it, which means you can save it to your media, you can rename it, and you can copy it and create multiple versions based on a core starting show. You can see right up here is the import. So if I wanted to import a show from another Director Mini per se, I would go to the import and then I would bring it in off of the media. The next thing I want to do is show you how to create scenes or multi-layered views. Actually, this is how every single view works in the Director Mini. Even though these look like just camera views, these are all scenes. If I go into a camera view here and I say edit, you can see this is my camera view, but I can add additional layers. So I can take the other camera and put that on top. I can position it. I can then crop it. So I'm cropping left and right. Save. Whoops, got big again. Size it down. So now I'm dealing with the square one up here. And then I can put a frame on it. I can increase the weight of the frame. I can change the color of the frame. I can give it some soft corners. There you go. Save. And now that is this view. So if I cut my other camera and cut back, these are all multi-layered scenes. Every single view down at the bottom of the screen is a multi-layered scene. Even if it's just a straight camera shot, you can create multiple layers within every single shot. Let's come over here We'll create a new one with a picture. We'll go onto our SD card, into our backgrounds, stills. We'll do the chalkboard. Whoop, not that way. Well, you know what? We can rotate in here, so it doesn't matter. And then we make it bigger to fill the whole frame. And then we add HDMI 1. And we're going to make that, we're going to do the same thing we were doing before. We're going to crop this so it's more just a vertical. And this is a very standard type of setup, save, where you want to have somebody speaking to slides. And we're going to put a little bit more weight on that. We're going to change the, not the color, but the corners. And still going to size that down a little bit. We're going to put that over here. And then we're going to add, let's just say it's my webcam, but it would be slides coming from a USB output. So this would be my slides over here. That's a little too big. It size it to fit. And you'll see right there at the top of the line there, it actually gives you, tells you when you are lined up. So then I can add a frame to this, increase the weight a little bit, around the corners just a hair, soften it up. And then I have those two side by side. Save. And now that is available as a scene so that you can easily, and I'm just going to tap in the middle of the frame here to clear off everything so I can see this by itself. Here you can see the clean output of the Director Mini with my camera. You can put a PowerPoint slide up there. You can use the background image for additional information about the event. You can do another overlay on the bottom. Each of these scenes is ready and it's just a tap away with your finger. Let us say you're doing some sports and you want to have a scoreboard. Of course, you can go into the graphics, you come over here and you can add a scoreboard. There is a whole host of scoreboards available to you in the Director Mini. I'm going to pick one. We're just going to size this down, put it in the bottom of the frame. And then of course you can see at the bottom of the frame here, you have the game name, the home, guest. You can change all of these. So what the team name is, it's not the home team. We're going to call them the Jays. And then the font, you want a thicker font, and then the guest team are the Bulls. So we're going to close that. We're going to go to guest. We're going to change the name to, and then we are going to change the color, not of the Bulls, of the background, and that's going to be orange. There we go. There's the Bulls. And then you can see first period, how much time, and the game name. Now, when you are in your game and you bring up the sports scoreboard, the thing you need to also access is the scoreboard controls. You can have these up on your Director Mini, or you can access them on a separate device. We'll get to that in a minute. But you can see here, I can quickly change the score. I can add the game time. I can change the second period, third period. It's very easy to adjust your scoreboard in the middle of the game and then just have it fade out, bring it back in, have it fade out. Super easy to do. Or, like I said before, you can go in here and edit it and give it a motion control. So when you wanted to come in, you wanted to come in from the bottom, and then when you wanted to go out, you wanted to go out the bottom. Save. So this way you bring it up, there's your score, and then you slide it out. Gives it a nice little polish. Another key thing with sports is instant replay, and the Director Mini has plenty of instant replay. To get set up for instant replay is very easy to do. You're going to come up here to the corner, you're going to go into settings, and then down here in the corner it says replay. So we're going to click on that, you turn it on. Now, you can actually have two replays going on at the same time. I'm just going to use one, but you could turn on two channels. I'm just going to use one. You set your buffer replay length, the duration of the replay, the duration of quick replay, because there's two different types of replay here. You can just capture these things for later use, or you can replay them instantly. So we're going to specifically do the quick replay, which I think is most people going to want to use. And the switch replay camera action, jump back to the start of the replay. We're going to have a replay watermark, which you can load on your own. You're going to have a stinger transition to make it very clear that something is happening, something that you see all the time on sports, on broadcast television. It's in the Director Mini. I'm going to come down here, step size. And if you are doing two replays at the same time, you can actually have them both on the screen at the same time and put your own custom background in there. So we'll exit out of this. Here we've got the game going on. He comes up and he missed it. Okay, now we hit replay. Replay thing, here he comes up again, and then you can actually come in here and you can slow the replay down, and he missed it. And you can see there's a progress bar for me on the interface that's not part of the program. So we're going to watch this again, and he kicks it, and he's going for the score, and he misses it. Let's go to the replay again. Here's the replay. He's coming up. It's at 0.75. He comes up, he kicks, and he misses it. And then that's the end of the replay. So you can see how easy it is to integrate instant replay using the Director Mini with just one button there on the control surface. The next really cool feature of the Director Mini is the Director Utility app on iOS or Android. So here you can see the Director Utility offers remote assistant and phone camera. Again, both of these need to be on the same local area network as the Director Mini itself. So I'm using, this is available on Wi-Fi. This is, obviously it's not connected to anything. This is on the same Wi-Fi that I have the Director Mini on. So I can go into the remote assistant. I tap on that. It finds my Director Mini. I say connect, and then it loads all of the different sources. And I can see what is the active, you don't get a program window, but this is showing you what's programmed. And you can tap, 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 tap. That's how fast the reaction is on the app versus the Director Mini itself. It's essentially like you're connected. Go back to the game, clear the screen, and then I'm going to go over to my graphics, and I can bring on the scoreboard. I can bring off the scoreboard. As easy as that. You can delegate the scoreboard to someone else, because when you bring it up, now you can connect to it and, oh, they just made another score. Oh, they stopped the time. You know, you can actively control the scoreboard. Okay, they restarted the clock. There we go. Third period, second period. Oh, they just scored 2 points. Whatever it is, and it instantly is part of the system. Also, you can, let me close this. You can control the stream, you can control your recording, and you can control the audio. So here you can see the main program audio that is going into it, and the source down here is HDMI 2. I can take that source, I can bring it way down. I can take that source, I can bring it way up and have it be nice and loud. I can control, you can delegate audio control to another person using the Director Utility app. The Director Utility is an amazingly convenient way to switch your scenes, do your graphics, set up your destinations, set up your records, do your audio mixer, and more. But it has another trick up its sleeve, because this is where you access your phone as a camera. Before you actually connect to your Director Mini as a remote camera using the Director Utility app, you need to create where that camera is going to connect to. So you come over here, you click plus, we're going to say phone camera right down here at the bottom. We're going to say camera 1. No, because you can have up to 3 cameras and they need to know who's connecting to what. So this one's for Anthony. And then you can say image quality, high, middle, or low. There's advanced settings, which I'm not going to get into, but you can really dig in here if you want. I'm going to create. You can see there's no signal because the phone's not connected yet. So we're going to say save. And then over here on the right, you can see where it says Anthony. Now, when you come over here to the phone camera, you click on that, and there's your source. Now, that makes it very easy if you have 3 different people who are going to be connecting on 3 different devices. They know which one to click. This is important because you can build this into scenes, and you don't want to have people connecting to the wrong phone camera. you want them to connect to the one that you built into the scenes. So when I say connect into Anthony, it is going to pop right up. There's my source right there, and I can click on it, and you can see there it is. Now, a couple key features is you can see there's a program window right here, or a program icon telling the person who has the phone that they are in program. And if you click away, that goes away. Also, you've got a light and a microphone, which are both off at the moment, and you can also spin the camera around for a selfie camera. If I turn the microphone on, now you can see the audio here, and the audio is available on the side of the source, and it will be available in the mixer. So you've got audio passing through as another source. And then you can turn the light on, you can turn the light off. You can also zoom in and zoom out. And bring that up again. Here you go. You can zoom in and you can zoom out. So that is a quick look at the remote camera capability in the Director Mini. Do note that there's going to be a time difference between a directly connected source and the phone camera, which has to compress the signal in the camera, send it across the network, and decompress it in the Director Mini. So don't try to use them side by side, but rather use the remote cameras as an alternate source, say a view of the audience, a side view of the action, or a sideline camera. Things where it doesn't matter that it matches sync with other wired cameras, but it can be a distinct source all by itself. Think of it. You can control the Director Mini in your hand. You can control it with a touch screen that's attached to it. You can control the Director Mini with the remote assistant, but that's not all. You can control the Director Mini with anything that has a web browser, like a laptop, on the same network. Let's take a look at that. Here on the left-hand side, I have a browser that is connected to the Director Mini. I can click on the inputs, and it'll show me the status of all of my inputs. I can click on the Produce tab, and I will get to see the live video that is part of the program, which is nothing. And then I can also click on these sources and change the actual inputs as if I'm touching the Director Mini right there. I also have access to the quick replay, the fade to black. I can create shows. And then if you come down here, I also have access to the graphics, the audio mixer. I can control all the audio here. I have the background music. I can create shortcuts. I can go fade to black. And if I am live, I have access to the live comments as well. So having a laptop integrated into your ecosystem, your local area network here, makes controlling all of these sources and everything else very, very easy. Being able to delegate all the different things the Director Mini can do to different people makes it easy to do more things with the Director Mini. It's so easy with the web interface and a laptop. Lastly, and I just want to mention it briefly, in addition to controlling everything on the Director Mini, or using the Director utility on a phone, or using the web browser to control everything, you can even use Magewell Control Hub as an option to control the Director Mini or multiple devices over the internet. But we'll get into that in another tutorial. Once you've connected your devices and set up your show, now you're going to either record your show or you're going to stream it. So there are two encoders inside of the Director Mini, and you get to choose how they're set up and where you use them. We'll go right up to the menu here. We'll click on Settings, and now you'll see where it says Encode. We'll click on Encode, and you can see Encode 1 and Encode 2. This is where you get to choose what the frame rate, what the quality, what the bit rate is, all of that. So if you click on Encode 1, now, do I want 60 frames per second at 6 megabits? These are presets. You can also add your own. You can say, I want it to record program, or do I want to record one of the sources? This is where you can get an ISO record in addition to your program record. Anyway, I'm going to record the program source, H.264, 265. Here are your choices in terms of resolution. This is not a 4K recorder, it's an HD recorder. Your frame rate, 60, 30, or 15, and then your bit rate, audio bit rate, and then also advanced settings. So you can really dial your settings in for what you need. The type of setup I see most is people want a very low bit rate for the stream, but a very high bit rate for the master record that they can edit or upload later. So here, I might want to say my 1080p is going to be encoded at 4.5 megabits per second for the stream. And then for the encode 2, I am actually going to dial this in H.264, 1080, 60, but I want this at a good 20 megabits per second. Add. So now I want this one down there, and you can see I've got two different encodes. I've got my stream at 4.5 megabits and my encode 2 at 20 megabits. So I can record a much higher quality, more frames, higher bitrate than I'm trying to stream. To use the built-in APIs for YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch, you will need to go through the on-screen prompts on the Director Mini to connect it with your social media accounts. Alternatively, you can send your stream via RTMP, NDI, or SRT. Once connected, you'll have on-screen confirmation, and streaming to that channel is just a tap away. So now I have paired the Director Mini with my account. I am able to go to Facebook Live, and I'm able to choose whether I want encode 1 or encode 2. I'm not going to try to send 20 megabits, so I'm going to stick with encode 1. And I'm going to post to timeline. No, I don't want to post to my timeline. I'm going to post to one of my pages, creating a live stream. I'm going to give it a title. I'm going to give it a description. Come out. And then my record, I'm going to say, I don't want to reuse the low bit rate. I want to use the high bit rate record 2. This is where you can really take advantage of two different encoders inside of the Director Mini. One important note is you can use a USB stick as external media to bring it into the Director Mini. But when it comes to recording, you can record internally. There's 64 gigabytes of internal storage and the SD card. Those are your two destinations. So that this way I can hit stream. It's going to connect there. Say connect and record. Here you go at the top of the screen. You can see I've got my audio levels right here showing me that I've got good audio levels. Next up, I've got the time on the record, how long I've been recording, and then my data rate to Facebook and the fact that it is an active connection. All of this is at the very top of the screen on the Director Mini. As an all-in-one streaming tool, I also want to touch on the fact that you get built-in bonding here. Right here, this little blue icon is Speedify. It's a third-party service. You turn this on, and then you can go into the gear icon. You can see it is connecting with both my wireless LAN and my Ethernet. If I had a cellular stick like this, then I'd have 3 sources, and you can see that I am connected up there. If you hit the gear icon, you'll find out a little bit more. It's using Speedify. It has a free account, which gives you 2 gigabytes. You set up your own accounts and Speedify for whatever amount of streaming you think you're going to need. It's going to use the fastest server available, so usually the closest one, and there are servers around the world. Right now, the bonding mode is speed. For streaming, I actually recommend you go into this and say you set it for streaming. And what that means is it's going to use all of them at the same time, not just the fastest one. Encryption. Generally, you don't need encryption, but it doesn't necessarily hurt. And you can do a speed test right here on the Director Mini itself. It's going to test each one separately. After the test is completed, you can see my location, and I get 23 megabits per second up, but 400 megabits down, which is typical for my connection. So in conclusion, there's just so much about the Director Mini that you can really dig into. There's a telestrator where you can draw on the screen. You can have background music tied to individual scenes. You can have playlists. In addition to the instant replay, you can use Touch OSC control. You can even use a companion module. So dig in and try them out. One last bit of advice: when the Director Mini is connected to the internet, you can call up a manual right inside the Director Mini by tapping the main menu and the help button. That will bring up a menu that can help work you through any of the features in the Director Mini. So have fun and enjoy all the features that are available in your Magewell Director Mini.